Let's have a look how to map dimensions from Microsoft Dynamics to BI. So this is a Kronos UK company, and this company has dimensions as they are set up here. And these dimensions are the local dimension, local financial dimension in company UK. Now, if we are going into another company, the mapping only occurs when you have several companies. If we go into our Danish company, then we will see that the names are the same in most cases, but not always. And you may see here that the names are a little different. In most cases are the same, but afdeling, this is a department code. So that needs our attention in BI to map many into one. Here is a picture of companies in Microsoft Dynamics. We have 3 companies, and these are the list of first 8. We know we can have more, and the first 2 dimensions are fine across all companies. So when we are going to map it into a dimension in BI, we will call this dimension global dimension. There is no issue here. However, for a department, for whatever reason, in our Dutch and Danish company, they have been using a different name, and as well as in our area and purchaser dimension. So let's see how we do this in BI. In BI4Dynamics, we go on the Deploy tab and select Companies. Now, here is the setup for the additional currency, short name, and also for the global dimensions. Now, the list of the data sources is the first level. So it means that we have 2 data sources. One is 2018 and one is 2017. And we are going to use the 2018 and map and create a global dimension. So in order, what we have to do first is to create a list of the global dimension. And we could do 1, 2, 3 and rename this and write a department and so on, but this is not what we are going to do. We are going to use first a UK company to initialize global dimension list by 1 click. So all the local dimensions from a UK company have been declared or set as global dimension in our BI setup. Now, in order to do the mapping for the local to global dimension in UK, this job is pretty much easy because the same dimension appear on the left and on the right side. So all 8 are selected and mapped into the global dimension list. Now, going into another company, we can save this. Going into another company, it will be more dynamic. So we could set up all the companies and see what this is doing. Right, there are more. So actually what our setup is doing is immediately after we add a dimension, it offers us a first local dimension and maps it into the global dimension. If this name already exists on the list, then it selects like this one. If it does not, then in this case it adds one. So is this correct or not? We have to decide, because in the case of afdeling in Danish company, we know this is a department. So we should not use a global dimension name specifically for Danish company. Now this mapping is fine. And this one, this is a purchaser. So who knows why did they choose a local name? But definitely now it's a time to align all the setup together, as well as the område. This is an area. We leave the company dimensions from a Danish company to be used, but we can decide and say, hey, they're not using dimension 1 anymore for some reason, and we can rename this dimension as we would like to do. We should remove dim name because all these dimensions will come with the prefix dim. The same is what we do for the company in Holland, that our Dutch company. We do the setup. So we are done, and see what it is. Avdeling, again, this is a department, so no need to do it again. A copper is a purchaser, we know that. Few specific names like these two, and we can also decide whether they are using all or not. We can, let's say, delete this, and yeah, Regio, this is an area, right? We need someone from business to help us with the names. We may not know the names of all the companies across. We save this setup. Now, the software will inform you if you are using a local dimension twice in the mapping, or if you are trying to map to different local dimension into the same global dimension. So these duplicates will be checked and reported on save. What's next? So the next part is to generate scripts. Because this is Data Warehouse Automation Edition, all the scripts are generated on the fly. And let's have a look what I mean. So this is our instance, and this is the setup where the scripts have to be saved in a specific order. This is a sales cube. In our example, I have one sales cube with sales order, measure group, or effect. And this is the script that we want to see, and what is here. So the script doesn't matter, the script is as it is, but what is interesting is the following. You see, here is a placeholder, actually, and also in other places here, like here, and in 3 parts, where the global dimension script part is going to be inserted on a save. So at this moment it is not, but when we go into the wizard, we open the solution, it cannot work without metadata, and with one click the scripts will be created on the fly. So actually this will be created for all the cubes, for all the facts. And actually, if we have like we have here only one cube, sales analysis, and on generate it will create and change 2 scripts. But if we have 50 measure groups, it would change 100 files. And the software reminds us that there is a change. We said, would you like to reload it? We said yes. And see, these are the lines that have been inserted because of the setup of global dimension. So this is absolutely necessary to do, and after this we can do deploy and process. After deploy and process will be finished, we will have a look into the results. So this is our small cube. Let's just refresh the data here so that we can get, okay, it's very fast. Let's just look what we have here. Okay, so on the top level, yes, you see dim. So actually this is a sales order with one measure, line amount, companies, customer, document, and everything else are global dimensions. So this is a demo data, not much action going on here. And if you look into the dim area, you see the mapping is successful. We see that the mapping from Danish, Dutch, and UK company was successfully made into the dim area, and it's structured as it is. Actually, these companies have been copied one into another, so that data here are quite the same, similar at least. And looking into the department, and the name there was Avdeling, not the customer group, but the department. Yeah, it's also successful. We can see there are no NAAs, or the number would be the same across all the companies. That would be an error. Or if you look into something specific, a copper, yeah, there is no data here. So this is it.